Oh, it's okay. Sheila's okay. This is Sheila. That was loud. This is a mess. Hi guys, welcome back to a page in the chapter, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Paige and I'm a bit of a mess right now and none of my thoughts on books are cohesive, but I do like to share them on here twice a week. I don't really know what is going on with my brain today, but it's just absolutely dead. There's nothing going on up here. So we'll see how this goes. Today I'm going to go through all of the books slash series that I want to reread this year. This is a very ambitious list considering the amount of new books I want to read, considering my main goal for the year is diversifying. But there are just some oldies but goodies that I want to revisit, and this is that list. I also think it's quite important for us as booktubers and people in the bookish community to talk about the fact that we want to reread books and recycle books and stuff like that. We cannot constantly be encouraging people to buy books, and I am someone who does buy books. If you saw my last video, you know I buy a lot of books. This entire TBR cart is new books and I have more arriving today. But I think we should encourage rereading books and revisiting books and stuff like that. So it's kind of why I felt it was important to make this video, and I really hope that you enjoy. If you like what you've seen so far, God knows why you would want to, but if you do, you can hit that big red subscribe button and stick around and stay tuned for some of my other videos. I have this video in the works that I'm just so excited about. It would mean a lot if you guys would stick around and make sure that you check that out at the end of the month. Now I think hopefully I'll gain a brain cell and we can talk about the books that I want to reread this year. So the first book that I would like to reread this year is Fangirl by Rainbow. Oh wait, I have it. Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I actually have this book on my shelves. What a concept. I think everyone has read this book. I was watching Booktube this morning. This book came up and I immediately wanted to reread it. This is about our main character Kath, and she is just going into her first year of university and she writes fanfiction. And this story is kind of about her taking comfort in fanfiction, learning how to navigate this university setting with all of these changes. She's got some family drama and learning how to stand on her own 2 feet. And I fell in love with this story. I think there are so many relatable aspects. Even Kath is a very introverted character, which I am not, but I still find so many things to relate to her about. I really loved this the first time I read it and I just want to reread it. This is my last stretch of university. I finish in May, I think my exams end, and so I want to reread this one last time whilst I'm still experiencing some of it. I'm going to try not to get emotional about the fact that I'm graduating. I've never been emotional about that before. Where's that come from? I'm good. I just don't want to get old. The next series that I want to reread is a really controversial one, and I'm so sorry, but I really want to reread the Harry Potter series. I've never ever reread this. I read them from the ages of about 10 to, I don't know, maybe 12. I don't remember how long it took me to read them, but I know I started at 10 because I got the first 3 books for my 10th birthday. It's an oddly specific memory that I have. I've never ever reread them. I read them the first time and then I moved on. Twilight hit. I really want to. I'm listening to a podcast at the moment called Potterless, which is this 24 or 25-year-old guy reading Harry Potter for the first time and giving his opinions, thoughts, reviews on each individual chapter. And through listening to that podcast, I'm realising there are so many things that I've completely forgotten and wiped out of my memory. So I do really want to reread this series again. I do already own them, so it's not like I would be repurchasing them or giving J.K. Rowling any more profit. It's just kind of rereading old books that are sitting on my shelf doing absolutely nothing. I'm hoping that there is a way that I can reread Harry Potter without it being ruined for me, without just feeling guilty the entire time. I'm all for separating the art from the artist, but I think in this case, when she's constantly inserting herself into her own work, it's very difficult. The next series that I want to reread is Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick. I absolutely adored the first 2 books as a child, but I could never get into the 3rd one and I never ever finished the series. And I just want to see if I can do it now. I'm expecting there to be a lot more issues in these books than I found when I was young, but I really enjoyed it. I love the concept of a fallen angel. I kind of miss that cheesy paranormal YA. I think I'm just regressing in my stress over graduating. I'm like, yes, let's go back to childhood times. And I really want to read a series like that, and I really want to know what happens because this is one of the few YA series that hasn't been spoiled for me. Why am I so excited about this? I don't know. I think this revival in these feelings for me has kind of come from Crescent City. Reading Crescent City gave me such the Mortal Instruments vibes that now I just want to go back and reread all my old favourites and constantly feel this excitement and fangirlness. The next book that I'm going to show you I spoke a little bit about in my last video, and that is Unnatural Causes by Dr. Richard Shepherd. Dr. Richard Shepherd is a pathologist, and this is his memoir about working in criminal cases, working with death, experiencing death, and how it kind of affects his relationships and his outlook on life. I think people who work with death have so much to say about how to experience life, and I love reading forensics books. I have a whole video on forensic science books you can check out, but this is by far my favourite. This is the book that really made me want to take my degree down a forensics route in the first place. It's why I'm doing everything that I'm currently doing. So I want to reread this. I have a lot more experience with forensics now than I did when I first read it, and I'd like to see that come into play. 2, I've forgotten all of the case studies in this book. I remember the key points, but some of the details are a bit iffy. And 3, I would like the confirmation again that I am enjoying what I'm doing. I think I'm enjoying doing forensics, but it's really stressful because my entire degree rests on it right now, and so when you add in the factors of judgment and exams and getting graded, that takes away from the enjoyment. And so I'm really wondering, like, am I just stressed, or do I actually like not enjoy this that much? My opinions are conflicted, if you can't tell. I want to reread this in the hopes that everything becomes clear again the way it did when I read this in first year. It's buried at the bottom of my TBR cart, but the next book that I want to reread is Chain of Gold. I have also spoken a little bit about this book and the fact that I want to reread it. Chain of Iron comes out in March/April, I believe, not entirely sure, sometime in the first quarter of the year. I remember loving Chain of Gold, but I'll be honest, other than like really key scenes like in the library, I don't remember much of what happened, so I need to reread it. And as I said, I'm regressing, so why not regress into Cassandra Clare? I honestly think that this is Cassandra Clare's second best series. The Infernal Devices will forever be my love and the best one that she's ever written for me, and the fact that this follows those characters as children, we love to see it. It makes me so happy, and I cannot wait for the next book. I can't even say that they're particularly good books. Like, I love them, but I don't know if they're good or if I just love them because I grew up fangirling over this. I have no idea. And so then following on from that, the next series that I want to reread is The Infernal Devices. I have tried to reread The Mortal Instruments. It just didn't really work. I don't know why. I reread the first 2, City of Bones and City of Ashes, and then just didn't pick up the third one, even though that's the best one. I don't quite know what happened there. Maybe I will reread those as well, but I want to reread The Infernal Devices. Will and Tessa are the love of my life. My love for Will Herondale has not really shown itself for another character, other than a little bit for Henry from Annie LaRue. But it's a one true love. I need to be reunited with my boy, and if any of you come for him, I will fight you. I will. I'll do it. And the final series that I want to reread is a series that I think absolutely everyone should read, and I think it's heinous that it does not get the love that it deserves on BookTube, and that is the Star-Crossed trilogy by Josephine Angelini. This is honestly up there with one of my favourite YA trilogies. Could compete with The Mortal Instruments. Like, I might be tempted to put Star-Crossed above The Mortal Instrument. It's essentially a Greek mythology retelling where the Greek gods have like descendants that are in houses, and these demigods, if they run into a demigod that belongs to another house, they want to murder them because the Furies are trying to reenact vengeance. It's a whole thing, and most of the houses have been completely wiped out except for the house of Apollo. Delos family go to school one day and this girl Helen just starts attacking them. And the story is mostly told from Helen's perspective, so I don't really know why I described it as if it was from the Delos family's perspective. As I said, no brain cells today. But you need to read this book. I love it so much. If you like Shadowhunters, you are gonna love this. Same vibes, same energy. You need to read this. It's so good. The Greek mythology really comes through. I haven't read it in a really long time, so the Greek mythology might be really inaccurate, and I might notice that now that I've done some more research, but I hope not. And I'm really excited to reread it and just feel all those teenage feels. I literally binge read this series one summer. I could not put it down. And so those are the books and the series that I would like to reread this year. It's a rather short list. I think this is going to be a rather short video. I'm sorry. As I said, I feel like this is an important video to do, as well as all the other end of year / beginning of the year videos that we all do. And I'm just really excited to get into some rereads this year. I have so many new books, but I just want to be comforted by my old favourites. The year has started off on a really bad note for a lot of people, and I know that for the first time since the entire pandemic began, I am really feeling the effects of that, and I kind of just, yeah, I want to recede into my old comfort books, and I hope that you guys are okay with hearing about it, even if it's a fairly short list. And I will be sure to keep you up to date on how the rereads go. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed, even though it was a shorter video. If you did enjoy and you wanted to check out some of my other videos, I have a load of recommendations and stuff like that. Do be sure to check out my channel. Subscribe if you want to stay tuned for some videos that I'm really excited about. Yeah, I hope that you enjoy watching more of my content. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next week for my next video. Bye guys.